Welcome to the Mr. Rogers Homes Living in Arizona Real Estate Channel. Let's talk Phoenix, Arizona real estate. These numbers are going to shock some of you. In fact, they may shock all of us. Definitely a good time for one side to get moving. The other side need to get their ducks in a row. We'll go over the things you need to know to make your smartest moves. So stick around to the end. Jennifer, take it away.
New listings. In August, there were 6,946, and the previous month there were 7,294, and last year this time there were 6,698.
Let's talk a bit more about new listings. But first, do me a favor. Click like and subscribe. Leave me a comment, good, bad, anywhere in the middle. I'm okay with it. New listings. Not bad news. We're about the same as we were from last year, a bit down from last month. I believe that's because many potential sellers are listening to this channel. I believe buyers are too. But this part is where it definitely pays to listen to the facts and figures. Potential sellers are seeing that many buyers are on the fence. Why? I don't know. It's a great time for them to get off the fence and get shopping. However, the reason why, in my humble professional opinion, that there's not more new listings is the potential sellers know that right now, unless they have to sell their properties, it might be better off to hold off and see what's going to happen in the near future. I believe this isn't going to last forever, and you're going to see as we dive deeper into the video what exactly I mean by that, because the numbers are backing up my words. If you're looking for your dream home, perhaps an investment property or a second home here in the Valley of the Sun, then our new mobile app is for you. It's fast, it's private, it's accurate. Best of all, it's free. Go ahead, give it a try.
Active listings. Last month there were 23,992. The previous month there were 25,905. And last year this time we were a lot lower, about 6,400 less homes at 17,580.
Down, down, down. Ron. Active listings. Jennifer gave us the statistics. That's a tough word for me to say. And she gave us the math. So what we're looking at is exactly what it is. A lot of active listings are piling up, meaning buyers aren't gobbling them down. So we're starting to build that inventory. And build inventory, we're definitely doing that. Which, without plugging one side or the other, trying to help both sides. Sellers, you gotta really follow 3 Ps: price, product, and promotion. If you want to talk more about it. However, buyers, what a great time to talk to your local lenders, see where the numbers are, and then get out there and take a tour of a home or two. No pressure on buying anything, but what if you find the property of your dreams? What a great time to submit a strong offer. That way, you know that you're getting the best bang for the buck. Yes, interest rates could fluctuate, so could home prices, but I can tell you one thing. I can tell you a lot of things, but I can tell you right now, it's a good time for you to go out there and learn, experience, dive into the buying process. That way, you're more than able to make a move when it's time to do so.
Closed listings. Last month there were 5,316. The previous month 6,571, and last year this time we were right about the same at 5,325.
I really like closed listings. They give me a clear picture of what's happening with the market, what actually is happening, because when it's closed, it's done, finito. And you can see that we're about the same now as we were 12 months ago, which is a very good thing. However, what's not a good thing, and you can look back at the last numbers that we were just talking about, active listings are piling up. So although we're keeping steady with closed listings across the board for 12 months, the inventory active listings is starting to build up. And boy, I like using my hands. Remember that movie? I forgot what it was. I think it was Talladega Nights, when he didn't know what to do with his hands. Anyways, the point being is that it's good that we're closing properties at the same pace as we were last year. That's a steady, and steady Freddy is a good thing. I don't know what steady Freddy is, but we've all said it. So let's go with that. But the not so good news again is that the listings or inventory that homes aren't selling, and there's reasons why they're not, and we're about to talk about that, so stay with me, folks. But the fact of the matter is, closed listings are where they were 12 months ago, and the active listings are starting to pile up, thus creating what we would call the proverbial traffic jam of properties on the market. So, boy, I guess I'll say it again, buyers, what a great time to get out there. And I have a little bit of a bonus for you off the topic of real estate per se, or facts and figures of real estate. It was a question that was sent in probably minutes ago, so I definitely want to address that. Kind of an interesting point of view, and I think it's something worth sharing, and that's really what this channel is all about.
Here comes the crowd favorite, average sales price. Last month it was $569,202. The previous month, $590,718, and last year this time was $572,459.
I still smile every time I hear crowd favorite, like we're at a sporting event or our favorite concert. But the truth of the matter is, average sales price is absolutely, positively a crowd favorite for both buyers and sellers. For different reasons, of course. I say it all the time. Buyers want to see how low they can get the prices, and sellers want to see how high they can go when putting the price tag on their houses. I'm sorry. I'm just in a great mood. Life is good. I hope it is for you. Smile. That's what really turns everything around. Okay, enough about motivational speaking. Let's get back into what I would consider a good thing. When we have average sales price holding steady over 12 months, yes, last month or 30 days ago, the average sales price took a pretty decent dip, but and I'll say it again, like life in oceans, real estate has ebbs and flows. But when you have calm sea, the sailing's pretty easy. And over 12 months, it's been relatively calm, right about where we were. And that's a good thing. I know buyers, again, want to see prices go way low, but that's only holds true until they actually purchase a property. And sellers want to get every nickel they can. Who doesn't when they sell something? But then many times after they've sold a property and then they're out there looking, they're hoping that the prices tank. So again, I guess it depends what hat you're wearing. And many buyers are sellers and sellers are buyers, so steady is something that they can count on. If the data within this Phoenix real estate market update video, or any others for that matter, isn't clear, please reach out to me. I'd be honored to answer your questions. That's what this channel is about, helping you learn the facts and figures when it comes to most anything Arizona, especially real estate.
Sold to list price ratio. Last month it was 97.3%. The previous month, 97.1%. And last year this time, 97.6%. And what that means is if it was 100%, the seller would get 100% of their list price. So full list price.
Thank you, Jennifer, for giving us the information when it comes to sold to list ratio, as well as the definition. Spot on. I'm not sure how I feel about you doing my job. Perhaps you're trying to obsolete me, which I don't know how I feel about that. Hang on, let me think. I feel great about it. Thank you very much for helping the cause. That's teamwork. I truly do appreciate it. And I think everybody listening out there does as well. That's why they're clicking that subscribe button right now, smashing that like, and probably leaving you a comment. That would be so cool.
Up next, monthly supply of inventory. Last month it was 4.5. The previous month, 3.9. And last year, this time, 3.3. So we are up big time.
Before I give my 2 cents on this next statistic that Jennifer gave us the numbers on, I want to thank you for watching this channel. I can't really say that enough. It means everything to me and my friends and family, and just people that we try to help with real estate. The next 3 segments of this video, and again, stay to the end, you need this information. Not so good when it comes to the market for sellers and maybe buyers, depending how they look at it. In every video, I always say a good or healthy supply of inventory, somewhere between 2 months low and 4 months high. Well, we just hit 4.5 months of inventory. That's more than I like to see. And again, as I've said earlier in this video or throughout this video, we can see that the numbers are indicating that inventory is piling up. Prices have, again, held their own over 12 months, but the last month and the month prior, they've taken a dip. So prices are adjusting downward. Inventory is building. You're going to see, as we are seeing, the month supply of inventory is building because, again, there's not as many buyers and closings as there are listings on the market currently. So that's creating a pile of inventory. And again, what I might say is gloom and doom as far as one side of it is great for the other side of it. It's like one of those things where people ask me, are you just saying it's a good time to buy? I don't just say anything. I've earned my stripes and I'm going to call it like I see it. So the fact of the matter is, if a potential seller is going to put their house on the market, I usually say, let's really dial it in and see if you want to make sure now is the time to price it accordingly to this market and do what we need done to put it in the best spotlight to be in the running to be sold. Flip side of that is buyers, it's absolutely a time for you to run your numbers. In other words, talk to a lender, see where you are buying power wise, credit wise, and then when those numbers come back, get out there and start the process. There's no rush. Again, for most people, there's no rush. I mean, you might be moving across the country, or, your landlord is selling your house that you're in out from under you kind of thing. And I hope that's not the situation where you're rushed either way. But if it is, then yeah, you're rushed. But for most people, I'll go with the 80-20 rule. It really isn't something they have to run out there and buy the first house. But what a great time to start the process and see what's out there, again, in the price range, because now you know what it is. And then we start narrowing it in. When you have a dialed in game plan, the chances of success go through the roof. Pardon the real estate pun.
Listing success rate. Last month, it was 60.2%, which is low. The previous month was 65.3%, and last year this time, 69.3%. So basically what this means is that 6 out of 10 homes will sell.
Numbers don't lie, and there they are. The listing success rate isn't looking so good, and like I mentioned previous, the next couple of statistics when it comes to the Phoenix real estate market aren't looking so good. It's not end of days, but as Jennifer stated, 6 out of 10 properties will sell. So not to be Mr. gloom and doom, that means that 4 out of properties on the market aren't going to sell. So potential sellers, all I could really say to you is, if you're thinking about listing, it's not game over. 60% is still 60%. And how you increase that number. And as I said earlier, these numbers are averages. So you want to make sure that if you're going to put your property on the market, you're in the 60% that does sell, not in the 40% that doesn't. And I know that just seems like simple math, and you could say to yourself, oh, so 6 out of 10, sure. But again, when you look at the numbers, you increase the probabilities of a successful transaction, buyers or seller side, when you formulate a solid game plan. And I know I say certain things over and over, but tried, tested, and true over the years, this is what gives professional real estate agents in the realm of real estate the advantage, because they've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you're thinking about making a move, and some people are buying and selling within the Valley of the Sun, the Phoenix metro area, so they have to be concerned, focused in, and comprehend both sides of the fence, because they're selling and buying. So that's something that I want to really hit home on. So I slow the speaking way down when it comes to this. Not that I don't think you can't comprehend, but I like to sometimes think about my notes and what's going to be said next. And I'm really trying to try a different approach to these market updates, instead of just reading numbers and rapid firing a lot of the facts and figures you might be able to or can Google online. Not every game plan is the same. Like they say, it's not one size fits all. So when it comes to buying and or selling, you definitely want to, in this market, see what side of the fence you're on. And again, I know I just said it, but I'll say it again. If you're buying and selling, you really have to do your homework for both sides of it, because you're going to be one and or the other, and sometimes it's happening at the exact same time.
Hey, Shawn, tell us one of your corny housing jokes.
Sure, Jennifer, just in case the real estate thing doesn't work out, I guess. What did one wall say to the other wall? I'll meet you in the corner. Hey-oh! I know. Stick to what I know. Okay, as promised, because I'm a man of my word, I'd like to go over a question, or maybe it's a comment that a client asked us to address, and I wasn't quite sure where to actually, put it out there. But being that I do a decent amount of public and private speaking in the realm of real estate, I love to help pretty much everybody level up. It, what comes around goes around. The question was phrased as, how does a person find a good agent or team to help them with their real estate needs or services, buying and or selling, investing, renting, whatever it might be? And I don't want to say this the wrong way, because I'm not about stepping on anyone's toes, but because it's a great question and I'd like to address it the best I can. Look, social media is definitely the thing. There's TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. There's just a lot of different places that people can, for lack of a better word, post. One of the things that we read over and over is likes and followers are not reviews. Do your research. Because you have 10, 20, 30, 40,000 followers on Instagram, that doesn't make a top professional in the realm of, again, real estate. What you need to do is your homework. Go to sites, and read the reviews. Those are actually clients that have completed a transaction and have put their feedback in writing about that agent and or firm, team. What crushes me, and it really truly does, is when somebody has Steven Spielberg produce their videos, and clearly I don't. I am trying to do my best. I'm not a YouTube professional. I'm a real estate professional. Just because somebody has, a bazillion followers on Instagram or TikTok, or they have a ton of subscribers, what you want to do is actually see how many closed listings they have and what the public is saying about them as a real estate professional, not as a video creator. And again, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I'm going to say that till I'm blue in the face. It's quite an accomplishment to get likes and followers, but many of that is, who's got the better camera and who might look better on camera. That doesn't always convert in who actually knows about real estate, the rules, the regulations, the contracts, the negotiations, the things that are very important to a buyer and or seller. From the bottom of my heart, please do your homework and see what the real estate world says about a real estate professional. And I believe that's kind of, I'm looking at the question now, or the comment, that's what I would do. Ask the questions. How long you've been in business? Do you know the area? What is your expertise in the realm of real estate? Remember, some people deal only with commercial, some people deal with residential, some people deal with land, some people deal with property management. On the Mr. Rogers Homes team, and I, again, not so much a plug, I do that more than enough within this video because it's important for our growth. But my point being is we do everything. So wherever you want to call home, or wherever you might be selling a property, we can help you with that process. You go on most third-party real estate sites, you'll see that our team has the most positive reviews in the Valley of the Sun on many of those sites, and that has to count for something.
Last but not least, average days on market. Right now we are at 83, which I think is the highest I've seen in a while. In the previous month it was 78, and last year this time it was only 66. So keep this in mind, the word average. So you can easily double that, which would be 166 days, which would equal to about almost 6 months.
Yes, average days on market is unequivocally the last Phoenix real estate market statistic we're going to be talking about in this video, but by no means the least. One thing I want to make sure that I explain to you, because most people don't know this, unless of course it's our listeners, then you do, but I'll repeat it because it's worth repeating. The average days on market isn't how long it takes for a property to go from for sale to sold. No. It's how long it takes a property to go from for sale to under contract. Many times there's parts of that process, the buying process, that have to happen before the actual profits are given to the seller and the keys are given to the new home owner. The appraisal is one and the inspection is another. All the while, however, the days on market numbers are accumulating. So sometimes, and just an example, if there is a negotiation going back and forth, perhaps the sellers aren't willing to do certain repairs and or lower the price in lieu of making those repairs, the contract could get canceled, or maybe the buyer can't satisfy the loan part of the process, the buying part, for whatever reason, so the contract is again canceled. That property then goes back on the market, and because it's been on the market that amount of time and the days on market were adding up, it doesn't typically, and there is a way to do this, but it doesn't typically start the days on market over. So by no fault of the properties per se, the days on market accumulate. A buyer could be a seller at the same time. So while I'm running numbers, I want to focus in on, or at least dive into, the days on market to see, was said property buyers are interested in submitting an offer on the market for X amount of days because of the market itself, or was it under contract for a good part of those days? And that's why when you look at days on market, you just have to understand that the average days on market could be area specific, property specific, or there could be underlying reasons why it's been on the market longer than perhaps the house down the street that's pretty much apples to apples. You gotta, I guess, peel the onions, as they say. Maybe I'm getting hungry talking about all these fruits and vegetables. I definitely wanted you to understand, A, what days on market actually means, and don't always hold days on market against a property because it was on longer than perhaps another like property. It really comes down to doing your homework, to making sure that you're submitting your strongest offer when you're trying to buy a property, and if you're selling a property, to explain to the potential buyers why the numbers are what they are. If you like this video, make sure you check out this one. I'll see you over there. Until next time, take care. God bless America. I'll talk to you soon.